Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a great rack, balanced, no duplicates, and I have the blank. But there is some dyssynergy going on here. BM and P, not fantastic together. However, I have bumpier, and I'm inclined to play that because I don't think there's going to be many alternative bingos, and they're not going to score anymore. So bumpier for 80. My initial thought when seeing that previous rack was that I might struggle to find a bingo, but fortunately there was one which came to mind fairly quickly. Now through an E I have, well, I was going to say tiddlier, but that would need double D and single T, so I don't have that. I have the try prefix. Not really seeing anything. I'm going to consider the floaters, but I think really it's just the vowels which may create a bingo. Can't see anything with the U or the I, and the E I've considered. So in terms of sorting the rack out, really it's a case of playing off the duplicates and trying to score as much as I can. A play of dirt or trilled would leave an okay rack leave. This rack is too good to change, but I'm going to struggle to score with it because I have no scoring tiles. And I don't have a vowel which plays above or below the R of bumpier, so parallel plays are restricted. And, well, it's only U, T which is good of the tiles I want to get rid of, so I could play dit. However, that takes an A and an E in front, so I'm not a huge fan. Again, my vowels are causing a problem in terms of parallel plays. However, I have writs for 26, which is a good score. The rack leave has some merit, the right number of vowels and consonants. They're all bingo-y tiles, but it's quite vulnerable to a poor pickup. However, I'm not seeing anything better. Now that is a good pickup. Through an S I would have distrail. There may be a 7 here, but it hasn't come to mind. How about the floaters? Tail bird, bird tail? I don't think so. How about the U? Again, nothing that I can see. How about the M? Again, nothing. What about the P? Well, all of those have been blocked. How about the R and I? Not seeing anything. So, how about the pairs of tiles? BA rather. Not seeing anything there. UG, nothing. MU. And I'm not particularly strong on my 9s, but sometimes I see them. And PE. So, not seeing anything. How to sort the rack out. Play off the D for score. And I'm looking at the mud spot. So I could play Dali, keeping writ, 24 points, okay score. Not really giving much away, as in scoring opportunities for opponent. Mud only takes an S. And any play down from the L is going to give me first dibs at 4 floaters, and this is quite a good 3-letter rack leave. I hope I'm not missing a 7 with this rack, but it hasn't come to mind. Dali for 24. Wow, look at that. That is a really nice sight. I surely am bingoing now. The only downside is the... Wow! Great bingo by my opponent. 91 points, that's huge. And he's created a triple-triple lane. So first thing to do is to consider bingos with this rack through the D. There's D rating, gradient, treading, and one more. Redating. D rating, redating, gradient, and treading. None of those is a triple-triple. No 4-timers available. So redating doesn't place a vowel next to a premium square, does take a P in front. So what were the alternatives? Treading. Well, that places in... Well, treading actually probably a better play. Let me put this back. It does take an S, but row J not particularly dangerous. So treading for 83. Not fantastic. Only the solitary vowel. And quite a few clunky consonants, but they are scoring consonants, so I should be able to play my way through this. The board, not great in terms of scoring spots. And I don't have any 5-letter plays down onto this S. I do have fixed underneath the eye of Dali. Fritz is good. Can't see anything across ending OR. And I'm just wondering whether it's worth busting a gut to hang on to this F for that hook. Not sure that it is. Nothing down from the L. Fixed leaves VNN, pretty grim. But I could have Venins next go. Plenty of E's and I's to come. Let me see what this scores. 33 points, pretty decent. Doesn't really provide anything. 3 S's and a blank to come for a 7-letter play in row L. But there are other bingo lanes on the board. No A's for Vax. Just wondering if there are any spots I've overlooked. Well, not that I can see, so fixed for 33. Well, I nearly get Venin, but I don't. However, this looks a slightly more tractable rack, and I lead by a bingo, but still 43 tiles in the bag. And the opponent has been scoring well. He hasn't had any low-scoring moves. So, now fixed has blocked the play down from the L. Do I have anything down from A8 onto this S? Surely I do. I have Envoys, which is quite nice. Gets rid of the V and the Y, and it scores well. And the rack leave is good. I don't have a vowel for going underneath the X, but my opponent may. So that could prove a distraction for him, which I would want, because I haven't seen anything as good as Envoys. Wow, great bingo by my opponent. Burns 2 S's and a blank, and he now trails by 5. I do have Envy at the bottom, keeping tone. Envoys scores more, but provides more floaters. think I prefer envy. Wow, 5 O's to come. I'm not sure I do. Envoys for 39. Okay, that looks quite nice. I have metanoia through an I. No I's. Not seeing any 7s with this rack, and if there is one, it would probably play, because G takes an A to its left. $21 for my opponent. So what about the floaters in envoys? Can't see anything with the E. Not seeing anything with the N, or the V, or the O. What about the Y? Nothing, so I'm drawing a blank. How about the T of fixed? Nothing there. 12 minutes on my clock. No other bingo lanes to consider. Can't see anything through this V. So the M is my scoring tile. So what about playing Moan? Good rack lead, 28 points is a good score. Moan doesn't give anything away. I quite like to leave the bingo lanes open. We're quite close and this is a good 4-letter set. So Moan. Wow, I hope I'm not missing anything. Now, ment is a suffix I didn't consider. Oh well, with double AO. Not worth considering. Okay, I'm going with this for 28. I have neonate. Not sure there's anywhere for that. But what does it run underneath aliases? Yeah, I think it does. Which is a stroke of good fortune. Let me just check these. Yeah, neonate for 80. Bang. Well, that was good fortune. Six overlaps. And this is a pretty good pickup. I lead by 100, only 16 tiles in the bag. However, they are quite bingo-y. Despite the lack of S's, E's and blanks, that does look a bingo-y unseen pool. But I'm in a good position to survive a bingo because I should be able to get 30 odd points with my scoring tiles. And I'm likely to be able to, for example, play the J and the K and then maybe next go play the P for another good enough score to maintain my lead. So I have jerky in row E, which gives nothing away. 38 points, fantastic. Still 3 I's to come with this Q available for an I going underneath it. Where else can my J play? Do I have anything through this T which gets the J doubled? No, I don't. Jug is good, but I can't do anything with that. Can't play parallel to fixed with my J, nothing goes after it. So at the moment, the only good J score I've seen is jerky. Neonate is really nice because AE takes nothing after it, so opponent can't make a parallel play in row N. Unless it's at the right hand side. And that would have to be a play beginning with N. Unlikely. I'm still looking for J spots. In vain. What about K spots? Kin is good, but I can't play anything else. Okay, so the board not actually that great for me. Not sure about Kelter, don't think that's good. Kelper is good, but I can't see a a spot for that. Quite nice to play jerky if I can, because it plays off 4 tiles, which is a significant chunk out of the 16 currently available. Now, interesting, opponent gets 8 points. He's signalling that he's either got an S or he's gambling on picking it up. I lead by 91 points. I think my best strategy is to ignore that and play jerky. I can outrun a bingo, and if I block row O, I'm going to be taking a massive point sacrifice. So jerky for 38. And I now lead by 130. And there's the 2 C's and 2 H's, so there is some scoring potential in terms of a row O bingo, so it could be a tight end. But this is quite a balanced rack. There are surely some opportunities here. J takes an A after it. So I have wheel for 26. And that's the sort of score I was looking to achieve after jerky. So 38 last go, nearly 30 this go. That's 60 or 70 points in 2 moves. That's the best part of a bingo. I have wallet in column 12. Except I don't. Do I have something which gets the W doubled? I have wattle for 26. 11 minutes on opponent's clock, 11 minutes on mine. Dino only takes an S after it, I believe. Let me look at the remaining vowels. 6 out of 17, so quite vowel dry, in which case it would be helpful to hang on to one of my vowels, which wouldn't be achieved by wheel or wattle. However, wattle would stick a vowel in the open, and there is a vowel in the open in envoys. Now, opponent has lost contact or quit. Hopefully he will be back soon. Match snsdjes. Okay, it's been resumed. Ah yes, his clock is going down. Fine. So we're back in action. I was gearing up for the end of the game, just switching the camera over. I'm limited in terms of my recording time, and by that I mean every 24 minutes or so I have to stop the camera and restart it. It's just pushing a button twice. Now, has anything changed? I think I was commenting on the lack of vowels, but noticing that this E of envoys was available. So I have pellet through that, hanging on to the W, but I may be inclined to burn both the vowels if the score justifies it. There's a good chance that I'll draw at least one. It's not a massively vowel dry bag. Opponent's created this S spot, but it's not a spot for an S in last place. He's created a new lane because the icon is good. And he's provided a spot for his H. 7 tiles left, so tempting to play off 6. Or close to 6 to limit my opponent's opportunities for fishing. And I think I'll go with wattle, because the score's good. I'm providing a vowel in the open, which is more useful for me than my opponent, and I'm turning over a lot of tiles. I do draw 1 vowel, which is fine. Just 2 in the bag. Opponent may have an excess of I's. Wattle, I think, takes a D. I'm not sure about an R. So, for example, I would have drap. 24 points, and again, that's the sort of score which you're looking to keep pumping in. very hard for opponent when all of your plays are 20, 30, 40 points or bingos, especially when they're struggling to find a bingo. For example, Con was just 16 points, and look at that, 11 points. So each time opponent's getting 16 or 11 and I'm sticking in 20 or 30, it's increasing the spread. And it also means when he does get his bingo, if he gets it, it's going to be fall a long way short of winning the game for him. Now, one tile in the bag. What to do? Several bingo lanes. No obvious one to block. Opponent could have, well, the likeliest tile to be in the bag is an I, in which place opponent has Eastridge, which plays in row O, 8 minutes on my clock. And it also plays in column 2, but row O scores the most. So let's see where Eastridge ends up. Underneath this triple letter square. So I could play had, which blocks it. But does Eastridge have an anagram? Richest, which doesn't play in row O. Does it have another anagram? Eastridge, richest. Well, I don't think so. Is had the best I can do? Is that the best way of blocking? Do I have anything which goes underneath double E? I don't have anything down from double E. Let me put this back. I have 8 minutes. Double A takes an H, so this is going to score more. That's 33 points. Can I do better? Well, no, nothing goes underneath AE or underneath ST. Double AH does take an S, but Richest and Eastridge don't play there. I'm just going to check Wattler. Great, that's not good, so Eastridge doesn't play there, so opponent would be restricted to Eastridge in column 2. I'm going with Doe. Well, opponent doesn't have Eastridge, he has 2I, so he has Eristic and Riciest. And Eristic plays in column 2 and also in row N. So opponent should be going out with a bingo, but it's not going to be enough. So, what if opponent doesn't find his bingo? He may just see Riciest, that's possible. And I don't think Riciest plays. Okay, great, he does spot Eristic, great for him that is. And the final score, 433 for my opponent, 490 for me, a winning margin of 57 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. There was only bumpier. Opponent's rack, he plays was. Wow, dits, I didn't see that, and that wouldn't have taken the front F hook, so that would have been a better play, and scored more, but fairly marginal. Opponent plays Ague, or Ague. Great, no missed bingo here. I thought there might be. And Drail was available for 3 more points. Does R help the rack leave of IT by 3 points? I think maybe it does, yes. So I don't think there's much between those plays. And this is a fantastic bingo by my opponent. Not an obvious floater to consider. And a well-deserved 91 points. So at this point I trail by 12. I have a bunch of bingos through this D, one of which is treading, all scoring 83. Wow! Opponent has a bingo with this rack. It didn't look remotely bingo-y. I didn't bother to even pause and consider a bingo, but there is one there, layabout in row B, and that would have been sensational. Back-to-back 90-point bingos. Fortunately for me, opponent doesn't see it and plays boy. And that would have made a difference because this is not a great rack to have when you're trailing. I play fixed for 33. And now opponent does bingo with aliases, which was a good find. A ton of other bingos also available. I have envoys. And now opponent's rack deteriorates while he's trailing, so not a nice sight for him. Plays Vogue, which I think is fine, 21 points, splits up QV. My rack. Phew, I thought again there may be a bingo popping up. I play Moan for 28 with AENT. There were slightly bigger scores available, but for worse rack leaves. Atma, A13. Interesting, because that doesn't provide anything, so score and rack leave should be a good comparison here. So is ONE 7 points worse than AENT? I would say yes, I would say it's about that. And if it's not, it's close, so I'm happy with my play. Opponent's rack plays Chin. And now this is fantastic. My initial thought was that this wasn't a bingo, too many duplicates and no scoring tiles, so I thought I might have a bit of work to do. Then Neonate popped into my mind, and really fortuitously there was a spot for it, and only one spot. Opponent's rack. No bingo. Would have had Isoticon through an I. Plays Dino, so let's just go back. He did have the S as predicted when he played Dino. I ignore that and played Jerky for 38. The opponent has, well, let's just say he has Sericon and Rections. Rections playing through the T of Fix, Sericon in row O. So a missed bingo there, plays Con, and I now lead by 120. I play Wattle for 26, and I like that. Wow, that looks a bit grim. Let's just... So at this point, opponent plays Con, keeping Rise, which is quite a nice 4-letter set, but draws 2 I's and a T. No bingo. Plays Chi. And now I play Do for 33. But Po also available. But Po takes an E at the end. And opponent's final rack. And he has Aristic in 2 spots and finds one of them. So, cracking game. High scoring, both of us well over 400 points, and quite close in the middle as a consequence of that fantastic bingo softened by my opponent. But I was able to keep scoring and then move into the lead with Neonate, and from that point on, opponent was struggling to play a bingo, and the gap between us was just widening. So when he did get his bingo down right at the end, I was still able to win by a substantial margin. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.